Look at the girls.
Doesn't he look dapper, mate, honestly?
Look at the Charlie's Angels. Look at them shining. Would Origin be what it is today without Wally?
No way.
No. Wally was Origin. Okay. Melbourne, without Papenhuyzen, can they win the comp?
No.
I'd say that.
Cut that one out.
Yeah.
No, keep it in.
Gents, we're back. You ready to rock?
Ready to go.
I'm always ready to rock.
Here we go. Oh! Gets victory and flicked.
Get an ambulance. Get an ambulance. Boom. Right off his strike. Straight off his melon. Oh, I can't believe he did that.
With a long range shot, the arms up. It's a point.
He was one of the great days.
Hi there, welcome to Freddy and the Eighth. Great to be back in the chair after a couple of weeks away doing various other things. I'm sure the boys have missed me as I've missed them. Andrew, Brad.
Quick question. Do the vests make you warmer?
Yeah.
You know what?
Interesting.
I would never normally wear this, but it is dead. It's about -4 in here.
I reckon it was about 5 years ago where I wore a vest for the first time in my life, and they make a lot of sense because it keeps this warm and your arms are moving anyway.
Yeah. So you're a fan of the vest?
You've gone
the cardi.
The wife, actually. She's, you know when your wife uses you as a mannequin? I was a mannequin this morning.
Talk?
Sorry?
Well, they just like to dress you up to the
Come
person
on, mate,
they...
there's kids watching. You don't do
to the person
talk about you and Marie
that they'd
doing
really like to
dress-ups.
be with. So I'm going to...
Is that where you put
I'm going to cardi.
Is that where Marie likes to put the Knights number 7 on you?
Yeah, she's got a red-blue cardi with Henny
Got
Penny
a
on the front
tattoo
of
on
it.
her.
Number 1.
She's got a tattoo on the back of someone on a
Knights number 1.
skateboard.
She likes you dressed up as Robbie Davis. All right, let's go.
Oh, gee, I've missed this. Everyone good? Congratulations on your Logie.
You too, mate. Well done.
What a
Good
great
job.
effort from the team here.
It's funny, you know, because the Logies are you know, some are voted by fans, others are voted by an institution. And I realised someone made me aware that this was voted by an institution, which in my eyes makes
I think it's a peer vote. Yeah, peer vote, I think. Yeah.
No, not this one.
Oh.
That's right.
No, peer voted. So people in the industry.
Right.
Yeah.
So
As opposed to the popular vote.
Have a look at Brace. Look at the girls.
Doesn't he look dapper, mate, honestly?
Look at the
Charlie's Angels. Look at them shining.
So what's Brace? Charlie's Angels, that's 3 females.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what I enjoyed was his speech.
Yeah.
Good on you, James. You sort of, I reckon your personality come out, mate. Nice and humble. You knew what you were talking about. Good on you. Well
I
done.
actually think he might be the next James Bond.
He looks like it.
He's right up there in Bond areas, isn't he? That or he's going to be sponsored by Bonds. Coming up today, we're going to have a chat about the King. Gee, that was said on Sunday night. We love the King. Love the King. We send you all the very best. Wally Ryan Papenhuyzen's making a return too on the Sunshine Coast this week, but we love going back in the archives. And I didn't know until today that you're scared of heights.
Terrified. Horrified.
So in the World Aquatics Championships, which isn't just the swimming, but there's the water polo and the diving and stuff, we had a gold medal winner in the cliff diving or the super high platform diving.
She's a gun.
Rhiannon Litland.
Oh. How high is that?
Liftland, sorry. Said that wrong. So it's about 20 metres.
So I used to do a somersault off Nepean Bridge, which is about 15 metres for $20 when I was in year 12. That's how I made money in those days when I wasn't playing footy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's, you know what? It's really good to watch diving.
Awesome.
I really like it.
What's the place where they go off the... Is it in Italy where they go off the cliff?
I know the one you mean. Yeah.
The Australian female kills it in that as well. Whether it's the same lady, I'm not sure.
So this, you talk about the Red Bull. Like
Yes.
Red Bull.
Yes.
Well, Rhiannon is part of that.
Right.
Yeah. So gold for Australia in the cliff diving. Don't know we could say the same thing about our great mate, the Eighth, though. Crying.
What's wrong with it?
I had to bungee jump.
And you couldn't do it.
Mate, my legs wouldn't work.
Mate, you go out in 15-foot surf.
Yeah, but it's different.
It's not different.
Oh, get crook looking at it.
Mate, you know you're not going to die doing that.
Yeah, but it's not about... Oh, no, it's abseiling.
Oh.
They got you now.
That was the State of Origin challenge, and Gordon's taking the piss out of it.
Yes, so Brad made the point there that you take on big big waves, right?
Yeah.
Now, most people would find that highly scary,
Mm.
but so you actually had a physical reaction. You couldn't move there. Is that right?
Couldn't move. Legs wouldn't move.
Wow.
I was up there for about half an hour, 20 minutes. Legs just wouldn't move. Just would not move.
Have you
Scary.
skydived?
No.
You have.
Heaps.
What's that like?
Yeah, great.
Did you no issues? Straight out?
Skydived a couple of times there's one at Picton, Wollongong you do. I've
Yeah,
done
yeah,
in New
yeah.
Zealand.
So you're straight out.
I'll tell you what's scary. I think bungee's scarier than skydiving. Skydiving, you're so far away from the ground that, I don't know, there's a level of trust there. Bungee jumping, you've got a rope hanging off your leg.
Yeah. I'd like to think I could skydive, but I'd get up in the plane and I reckon I'd be like, then I'd be one of those ones they've just got to shove out.
Well, my sister-in-law, for my birthday, bought myself and the lovely bride.
Downward dog.
Yes, she doesn't like me calling her that. It's
Oh,
a yoga
it's
move
done.
too, it's all right. A hot air balloon experience.
Oh, nice.
I don't think I couldn't go up. I'll go up, but I'll sit down. I wouldn't be able to look out.
So my mother, actually, on my 40th birthday, we skydived onto Wollongong Beach, which was pretty awesome.
Wow.
And my mother did it with me.
That's
and
cool.
I'll tell you, I hot air ballooned in Africa
Was it
and
scary?
landed in the migration.
Wow.
Animals everywhere.
Wow.
Is it scary? No. Hot air balloon's not scary. It's
Okay.
like,
Makes
I'll
it
tell you what
better.
you've done. Have you done hang gliding?
No, not a
They
chance.
do that at Stanwell
Stanwell
Park.
Park.
Yeah.
Paragliding's like, or hang gliding's like hot air ballooning. It's not scary.
The one that you should try. Have you done a bridge climb over the Harbour Bridge?
Yeah, that's no problem. I
It's
didn't
fine.
mind that.
Look, feel
Yeah,
completely secure.
I didn't mind that.
Have you got an issue with heights or other issues? Send us your stories at NRL on
Pick
9.
off some of your issues.
Oh,
How long we got?
yeah, Fatty and Sterlo. They had to go at the diving. This can't imagine how this went. Oh.
Okay, there you go. All right, now the fat's up, so I'm going to attempt something very special. Oh,
Oh my God. Oh.
Doing the scorpion.
It's surprisingly high. It is high.
Oh, the fat. What a wonderful outfit that was. Yesterday's hero. We're supposed to make this harder, not easier. Go on.
Randall going left again. That's Dawn. Here's Cannings now. He's been resigned to
Cannings.
coming off the bench
Imagine
after
trying to
being
get
a starter
Cannings.
for Manly for a good part of the season. Freering a dummy half to who grubbers and will put Parfitt under some
Not awful.
pressure here.
No.
Who didn't get it cleanly. And thinks he might have come through and placed a hand on it before Parfitt put some
Only
pressure
little.
on it.
It's Chalk.
It is.
It's a big boy. Chalky
can tell by
Watmar.
the
I can
arms.
see it on the
As
wall.
soon as he started walking.
Yeah.
Jeez, there's only light there. Was he playing centre?
What a player he was.
A couple of premierships. So, yes, of course, Parramatta, he had a handful of games before he had to retire, but decorated career, part of that great Manly team.
They were
Was that a
good.
great Manly team,
Geez, they were
Blake,
a
you
good
reckon?
side.
Good side?
Eels. I can't remember him playing for the Eels.
Yeah, he retired when he went to Parramatta at the end. So where was you at that Manly outfit? So that
Right
was the
up
one
there.
where Cherry Evans and Foran, and Orford started, and then Cherry Evans
Yeah.
and Foran came through.
Maddie, Stewart's,
Stewart's,
Jason King,
Kite,
Orford,
Killer. Just say Jamie Lyon.
Killer.
Jamie Lyon.
Jesus, a good team.
That was a good
The
fight.
Wolfman.
Yeah,
Wolfman.
Yep. Good side.
great side. Tough. Very tough.
Boys, speaking of tough, the King. None tougher than the King. And those that watched 60 Minutes on Sunday evening would be aware that Wally's got a big battle on his hands. He's been diagnosed with CTE, and he's spoken about the horrendous challenges that's presented him. Now, is it, since retirement, let's take Origin out of it, there's no one, particularly here at 9, universally loved more than the King. This was so hard to watch.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it for that reason. What do you say about the King? As you said, the most humble, great fella. It's sad to see what he's going through. And look, there were signs the last couple of years. We all seen some of the signs. But we all wish him well. Yeah, I'd imagine it would have been tough to watch.
I think it's appropriate. He's showing great leadership at the moment too.
What would you expect?
You know, he's going through the right channels, doing all the tests, putting himself out there. Obviously, that'd be bringing a level of stress itself, and I think the league's acting appropriately. You know, I think what they're putting in place at the moment, I think, is you know, in thanks to people like Wally Lewis who are actually giving us proper. You know, it's not opinion, it's data, fact. So, you know, we'd be stupid not to listen to it and act accordingly.
Times I've spoken to Wally about it, he doesn't blame anyone.
No.
And look, 20 years ago, even when we were playing, but back when Wally was playing, 30 odd years, we didn't know about this.
No.
We didn't know about head trauma and what it could do and what would happen later in life. I like that he doesn't blame anyone. You know, as I said, the doctors didn't know. Our club doctors at Newcastle treated every player like their own sons. So I'd hate to think that there'd be any fingers pointed at club doctors. But the NRL are doing so much now. So much.
You boys concerned about what might be lying ahead for you?
I was, yeah. And I've been quite public for it. I developed seizures around 40 years old, which may have contributed from I had a lot of head knocks. But for me, which I've been quite public with too, is the CBD or what it's done for me. The medicinal cannabis I'm so clear. I know a place I'm involved with, Leven Health, they're doing big studies on concussions and CBD and stuff like that. So I'm not scared at all. And I have scans every year.
Okay.
I talk to in the Prince of Wales or St Vincent's.
What are the scans looking at? Like degeneration?
Yeah.
Or? Yeah. Okay.
And you do cognitive tests every 6 months. They're doing it with former and current NRL players. I don't know, St Vincent's. What's the one at Randwick there? Prince of Wales. Is that St
Prince of Wales, yeah.
Prince of Wales. So they're doing it there. So
is that a is that a program in place that you can opt into that, or is that universal now?
No.
And would you like to see something like that implemented universally for former players?
No, they have.
So it is a universal.
Yeah, the NRL
Okay.
is they're paying for it.
Yeah, but is that for everyone, or is that a select group?
I think at the moment, I'm just going on memory. I think there's around 60 to 80 former players who have done it.
Okay. Well,
So they're building data and looking at how players degenerate, 5, 10 years down the track, 15 years.
yeah.
So look, the NRL should be applauded.
Well, all I have to say, and I'm sure you echo this, we just wish the King all the best. I mean, he is just... It's hard to articulate from us here because he is such a lovely, kind, gentle man. And he's the opposite of what he used to be when he wore a Queensland jumper. So people that watch the ferocity of Origin back when Wally was playing wouldn't understand that, but he is just so loved here.
Would Origin be what it is today without Wally?
No way.
No. Wally was Origin. He was the villain.
Anyway, King, we love you. We wish you all the very best. On the way to the break, let's go back to Friday night footy, 1992. Oh, big game this, Brisbane, Canberra.
It's being billed as a mini State of Origin showdown.
It's try time. Is it?
Competition front runners, Brisbane. Their nemesis, Canberra. And the fever-pitched atmosphere of the Cauldron. The Broncos, 4 points ahead and on the road to the minor premiership.
He's inside the corner. Now, Savage.
The Raiders, only a miracle will get them a final 5 position.
That's the way Stewart is going. He's home. He'll score.
Can League's highest scoring team send the Raiders packing?
Now, Gilmeister. Inside for Madison and for Renoff.
Or will the Raiders spoil the Lang Park farewell season party?
Osborne. Can he find an outside back? He picks up McDonald. There's a try coming, I think. Mullins.
Oh, the sound effects. Feels like I'm watching a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Playing Space Invader.
I've got to say, boys, really like what Brisbane are doing this year, but I've got a feeling, I reckon they might play the Dragons and beat them in the grand final later on this year. What do you think?
In that year, yeah.
In fact, I think they're a good chance to go back-to-back.
Yeah, they were good. What a good side.
Here's the Broncos and Canberra teams, like fair income. O'Neill, Hancock, Renouf, Johns, Kahn, Walters, Langer, seriously. Lazarus, Walters, Allen, Gilmeister, Hone, Madison. Brett Plowman.
They're all.
Mate, I reckon their team at the end of the 90s was most probably
That's what
more
Gus says.
represented.
Gus says that.
Their team at the end of the 90s was ridiculous.
What about this Raiders outfit?
Well, them two teams, obviously,
They never
When
got
I
to play in the
first-
grand final.
when I first came through, these teams, they were unbeatable. There are a lot of injuries in this team. You've known that there's no Laurie Daly.
Yeah, so they come through the year. At the end of 91, they started to get a little bit injured. Lazo left the end of this year.
Well, there's no Ponga or Lomax there.
Yeah.
They may have come in 93.
They were after. Yeah.
93.
They played the 94 side.
Best teams. Best
I reckon
teams.
Broncos 98 to 2000 was about the best lineups. And then Canberra 90 was unbelievable.
Canberra 94.
Yeah, 94.
Steve Stone. Willie Kahn, Alan Cann, Michael Hancock, Steve Renouf. Here's the highlights. Look at the pearl.
I reckon these two teams, full strength, around this era, 92, 93,
Yeah.
Canberra 94, they would beat any team, the top teams, by 30 currently.
But played in an environment that is the same as they played in, or in the current rules?
Well, I'm just saying,
You gotta
hypothetically,
take, you
at
gotta take
their,
back to the 90s.
at their very best, you know, wind back the clock, or, you know, put the Penrith team now back in the early 90s, or put them in now, the way the game's played. They'd win by 30.
Freddie, what about the professionalism, though, of the modern play with
Like, look
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
strength?
Look at
And
this.
it brings a whole different level of stress as well. I think also the players are different. You've got a lot more Polynesian players. They're bigger. They're more, you know, a lot of them are bigger, more athletic, you know. So it's totally different. But these, I thought they played a brand of footy.
Oh.
And they're also very competitive. Like, both of those teams are full of that many competitive people that would do anything.
Look at Willie go.
Wasn't he a gun? Willie Kahn.
I think we can all agree that this is the...
Well, I was there the day
attractive
actually.
style.
I was there the day Wendell played his first game. It was against Penrith because Willie Kahn was out. And everyone went, oh, thank God. Willie Kahn's out. He was a nightmare. Like, he was just like tackling a gazelle, you know. He just become out. He was all legs and strong. And then Wendell just came in. Who's this bloke?
You heard the story...
Wendell ended up being a great player.
You heard the story about Gus and Jimmy Jones and Wendell Salem?
No.
He told us on the podcast last week.
Oh, there's a...
Jimmy Jones, a
was.
recruiting guy.
Yeah. So Gus said to him, I need you to find me a big, strong winger.
Yeah.
So there's two up in Queensland, Wendell Saylor and Butch Fatnauer.
Butch Fadden.
Butch Fatnauer was a gun.
I can only afford one. Jimmy goes, well, I really like Butch.
Yeah, but you would have bought Butch.
Yeah, Butch was a gun.
So Butch was my age.
Yeah.
Right.
Mate, you couldn't tackle him.
Yeah, he was a gun.
Well, Wendell was in the Origin team 2 years later.
Yeah.
Very funny. Who would you pick? This is a great question. Who would you pick if you could copy and paste a player out of the 92 Brisbane team into the current team and the Canberra team vice versa?
Well, the Brisbane one, I'd go Lazarus.
Yeah.
Lazarus and Payne Haas in the front row. Good luck trying to beat them. And the Canberra one, Mal. Mal at left centre.
Not Ricky?
So
No, I think I'd go Mal. I think they're a little bit skinny out wide, Canberra.
I'd go Mullins,
Oh, yeah.
fullback. And for the Broncos, I'd go with another Walters. I'd go Kerrod Walters.
Wow.
That'd be my pick.
Left field, like it. Like it. They've made a change too. Chris has gone to the centres and Rappen has gone to fullback this week.
I saw that.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Good.
Pappy, he's back. Our man, friend of the show, part of Andrew Johns' Black Book. He filled in for you via Zoom while you were in Origin camp, Pappy.
Yep.
Great bloke. Great to see him back. And it's not just this most recent injury comeback, which has been torture for him, but you've got to think back a couple of years when he had those head knocks. He's barely played in 3 years. So this is a huge stepping stone for him. And I hope he gets through and kills it.
I love this training they're doing.
So do I.
You know, it's just a level of professionalism, and what they've brought into it is like the body. We've been so restricted on our thinking on how to be strong and fit and fast, and the level of training they're doing and the science involved in the body, and and stress, and everything involved with actually getting the best out of yourself. I love it. I love looking at what they're doing.
Would you say it's balancing the body?
Absolutely. Getting it all right. Getting it all working.
Someone's tipped me Martin Lang's brother. Has done
Yes.
something,
Lang? Yeah, he does all that
something
stuff
very
down the
similar.
Yeah.
I reckon he's really good at it.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see him back. And they're saying they normally get about 1,500 for the Falcons. They reckon 5,000 this week.
How's
To watch Pappy play.
Could you imagine? Man, if he'll score a try for sure.
People forget how, I don't know if they forget, but like, this is one of the most dynamic players in the game.
Okay. Melbourne, without Papenhuyzen, can they win the comp?
No.
Melbourne with Papenhuyzen
Well, that's what I mean.
and fully fit.
That's what I mean. You've got to see him if he comes back as the player. Was it 2 years ago when they were 3 years ago they won the grand final? Now he scored that try off the scrum. Like he was just on fire. You know, they've got him right. Put it that way. They're not going to send him in early. They're too good for that.
How long? How long till he's up and running, do you think?
I'd say give him 2 or 3 weeks. That gives him a couple of games into the semis.
2-3 weeks.
That's perfect.
That's all. 2-3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's fit, be fit. If he's fit to play, he's fit to play. If he's fit to play in reserve grade, he's fit to play in first grade. It's
been
just a
running
matter
for
of getting
6
him
weeks,
going.
hasn't
And,
So you bring him off the bench?
No.
no,
Straight in?
fullback.
Wow.
And I
What
feel
about-
for
what
Nick.
about Nick Meaney?
Well, I
They
feel
go
for Nick
enormous.
Meaney.
Nick Meaney could play somewhere else.
Nick Meaney goes to 14.
He's a versatile player. He could play on the wing. They got some, Remus Smith's injured at the moment.
In the centres, mate?
Olam's out. I think they named both their centres from last week, Sevi and Tonanapaya, but they're both named. I think Tonanapaya went off, didn't he?
He had a hamstring, but I think it's cramp.
Right.
It's cramp. Yeah, that's what
All
it
right.
is.
So you got,
I really feel for Nick Meaney, but this is the nature of the game.
I
Papenhuyzen.
know. What do you reckon Nick Meaney's going to say if they get to a grand final? Papenhuyzen scores a try.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he's going to be?
No.
Do you reckon he's going to be worried if he's playing on the wing or coming off the bench?
I don't think Nick Meaney, he seems like a real good team man.
Well, that's his team man.
No, he played 5'8". Like you said, he's a 14. He just covers every position in the back line.
What do you reckon about them up against the Panthers this week? You think, was it 4 weeks ago, down in Melbourne? They started well and Penrith just blew them off the park.
I think it'll be close to what people think.
It'll be close.
Big Nelson's back. I think it'll be really close.
Be interesting if Tungall's playing for Penrith in the centres. So he's a left centre. They killed him down there last week. Jerome Hughes and Harry Grant just killed the left side of, what they play? Eels.
I'd imagine he's going to, because I can't see Zach Hosking playing centre.
This was
Well, they've got Salmon on the bench as well, so they've got someone to cover a centre.
this was their best win of the year, Penrith. The players they had out. Obviously, no Nathan was a big one. Jack Cogger had a howler in this one. So did Liam Martin.
Oh,
This bloke was unstoppable.
Now, he's a rep player of the future.
Yeah.
Come through as a back rower, playing centre, doing it, got the speed to play centre as well.
He's tough.
He had a blind, didn't he, this night?
Mate, that time when he hit the bloke, Warbrick come in, knocked him out.
Yeah, dushed him. He had the ball. I think that was the one before, wasn't it? Blindsided him, he went doink. Will Warbrick. Couple of W's, snoring.
Sounds lovely. Love to be just snoring away. Roosters back at the SCG, boys.
Yeah.
Been hard to beat there over the last few years. We've got the Women's World Cup on, of course, so Allianz is out. Now, I can exclusively reveal, because I bumped into Emma Lawrence getting a coffee. She was out at the Trent Robinson presser this morning and he says, the coaches aren't going anywhere, you're all talking garbage. I don't know where you get this from. Suggestions Cooper Cronk might not be their halves consultant going forward. And is this... Look, let's read between the lines here. The issue with Sam Walker's been he doesn't want to play too much structure. Yes?
Yeah.
So you've got a halves consultant there who is renowned as being the most structured halfback probably the game's ever had. Is it water and oil?
Well, unless you're there, you don't know.
How would you know?
I think the solution for the Roosters' struggle is next year, just give the team to Sam Walker. So, righto, you're playing on the ball as a halfback. You're playing like a 90s, like Ricky and Alf used to. You're playing on the ball. You create.
Second line of defence.
No,
Yeah. Tripping blokes.
I'll hide him there. Hide him in defence. But he's got the keys to the team.
Plays a bit like Langer. Or just pops up and runs and...
Yep. Plays what he sees. Kicks the ball early, throws the pass, doesn't second guess himself. So, yeah, big off-season, I think, for the Chooks, and I think it's a big off-season for Sam Walker.
Well, he's not the extended bench when he played last week. Did he play?
I don't know.
Did he play?
He did play first grade.
No, lower grades. I don't know if he played.
I was in the swimming pool. I'm a bit behind the 8 ball. So he's on the extended bench this week, is he?
No, I said he wasn't. I looked for his name
sorry.
because Someone told me he was playing last week.
So I read that, but it was he's been cleared to resume playing in the next couple of weeks.
Right,
That was the
gotcha.
story.
Because he had a partial tear of the ACL.
Right.
So they managed that.
Right.
That's been about 3 months. It's been a long time.
Now, on another team that's going the opposite trajectory, what about the Knights? And you've got a super run in, including a couple of Sunday afternoon games at home. Like, they're just going to be...
So they go Dolphins away. Dolphins away in Perth. Big chance of winning that. If they win that, next week they've got Bulldogs at home. I'll get 25,000, 26,000 for that game. Their grand final comes in round 27. They play the Sharks at home. I think if the Knights win that one, they'll make the 8 and the Sharks...
26.
There you go.
Round 26.
Yeah,
sorry.
Dragons round 27.
Yeah. So that round 26, that's the grand final for both Newcastle and Sharks. Whoever wins that will get the 8.
1 in, 1 out. It's been a super run. And the footy you've been playing has been sensational.
Kalen going back to fullback.
Yeah.
Concentrating on club footy, really, well, along with Billy, deciding not to play Origin, has been a selfless decision, but it has improved his footy out of sight. Phoenix Crosland, I spoke about him on the Sunday Footy Show. He's playing great form. Tyson Gamble's showing class, real class. Everyone is just ripping in, and they're enjoying the hard work.
Sorry, I'm glad you mentioned Crossland.
Yeah.
He has been. But he hasn't got that crafty skill, but how brave is he?
Well,
he tackles everything.
He's been in and around the club for 5-6 years as a halfback. For whatever reason, he hasn't really kicked on as a halfback, but he's found his spot, dummy half.
Yeah.
Really good to see.
And when you got Jaden Brayley out, you needed to fill that
Your
spot.
team's
He's
been
done
going
really-
awful for years.
Yeah.
There wouldn't have been a halfback you could put in that team over the last 5 years that would have done anything. Like, they've just been going awful. How many wooden spoons have they won? Didn't they win a row of
A
them?
couple, I think. Well, when Brown was there.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
3, was it?
And Crossland's come in just after that. So
That's a good point.
seriously. Mate, he's a good player. He always was and always will be. He has a go.
If they make the 8s, I mean, they've said Adam O'Brien's going
Mate,
to
the
be there.
pressure's going to come on to at some stage. They haven't, at the moment, they're on a run. You know, what happens is there'll be a game soon where it'll mean you're in or out. And
Yeah.
that's a whole bit different ball game to what they're going through at the moment.
And that's that Sharks game.
That'll be the Sharks game, and that'll be the one, the tester.
I'll tell you who's facing that scenario was the Cowboys after
I
last
know.
week. They were
Wow.
humming.
I couldn't believe it.
I know.
I think they'll sneak into 8th position. They got the Broncos this week on Saturday. No Valentine Holmes for 4 weeks.
Penrith last.
Yeah, but Penrith might rest players. Jeremiah Nene. So actually, I think because of that, I think they got a bye. They play
Got a
Brisbane,
bye.
then got a
Still got
bye.
a bye left.
And last round, if they play Penrith, Penrith will rest players. I think they'll jag a win. That'll get them in the 8.
So Taumalolo's starting in the front row, but they've also got Hillam Lukey back this week and Griffin Neems. So they've lost a couple, but a couple of handy ones
Cohen
coming
Hesko
in.
on the back row. He's playing on an edge.
He's
Yeah.
killing in the front row, so he won't last there long.
He's been awesome in the front row.
He's been their best player all year.
So with Newcastle humming, there is one man in Newcastle who is happier than most.
Start spreading the news. Heard the Footy Show boys are in town. And you know, I want to be a part of it. It's my Newcastle, you know? There's no other place I'd rather be. My Newcastle. My Newcastle. If I could make it here, I'd make it anywhere. I love my Newcastle. 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 Newcastle.
Any go looking at that now, Chief.
Thunder.
Oh, so good.
Thunder Chief.
I love the old wooden sign, Newcastle. What was it? Hunter International Sports Ground?
Oh,
or whatever
yes.
it was. Oh, brilliant stuff. Sharkies, boys. No, geez, that's rough, Will Kennedy. Gone for the year. So Tracy's gone to fullback. But I have to say, and I don't know what you reckon, I think Cameron McInnes on the weekend was as brave a performance as I've ever seen. His head looked like it had been through a meat mincer after 80 minutes.
How many tackles?
84.
84 tackles.
I remember when he was getting to the record and they were just counting the tackles as he went. And he peeled out of a scrum and tackled 4 in a row. He went literally 4 tackles in a row.
What a
Why don't you pick
You get
him?
that every week.
Why don't you pick him in the Origin team?
He's a good player. Well, he was injured.
He's. No, I mean, what about next year? Let's go through Origin teams for 2024, shall we? Well, you don't even know if you're the coach yet.
He was
I've
injured.
gone early.
What did he do? He went. He was out for a while.
He'd
Out
been
for
in
about
and
a
out.
month.
He's been in and out for a bit. Yeah. That was all. How good was that? Well, that
They're the
was,
players. Every team needs one of those players to win a comp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of
One
them
those
would be
players.
handy.
Yeah. Ruben Cotter.
Billy Peden.
Wonder why Ruben Cotter didn't start on the weekend.
Yeah.
I thought that was the type of game where they needed him to start. Get out there and energise. And I thought when he came on, it looked like, it looked like they were off the pace and he couldn't change their momentum.
I've just had an idea for our listeners out there. Murray, write this down. Next week, nominations for bravest players in the game.
Bravest.
Bravest players in the game. And I want your nomination and your justification. The current day players. Yeah?
Geez, the
Pound for
bloke, the
pound.
bloke who just sang that song was pretty brave.
Yes.
Current. Bravest. So, like, it doesn't have to be like big fellas smashing blokes.
Liam Martin, like a Liam Martin.
That sort of stuff, yeah.
Ruben Cotter.
Reece Robson.
Yeah, he's tough.
You boys could come up with 3 maybe.
Yep.
And then,
Well, I'll tell you what, every
come with the
hooker,
rest.
every hooker,
Yeah.
be 90 kilo and stand in the middle of all those gorillas.
Pound for pound, Jeff Tuvey's got to be the toughest player ever.
Yeah.
He's not playing, you just said playing.
No, but I'm just saying as a
Mate,
sideline.
you can't have two sets of rules.
Okay, Jesus.
Yep.
Great to be back. NRLW Round 3. Now, everyone said with the new teams, the NRLW, the quality of football might not be as good. Wrong. It's been awesome. Our mates Marley Silva and Ruan Sims have a preview of the round for us.
Thanks, Tomo. Well, Ruan, we're about to see the kickoff of round 3 in the NRLW. What are the key moments, the key games that we should be looking out for?
2 games that I think, and they're the bookends.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Thursday night, Roosters Dragons game. I'm really excited to see the response out of the Roosters camp. I think that it's going to be emphatic. But I'm also really excited to see how the Dragons back up because they had such a great win at home last weekend and Ray McGregor was on fire. So I'm really looking forward to that game to start us off. And then our last game, the bookend, Raiders-Tigers. 2 new franchises. 2 great wins, very different looking wins last week. The Raiders against the much highly favoured Roosters and the Tigers keeping the Sharks to 0. So this is going to be a really exciting one. Zahara Tamara had probably the best game I've seen a half play, and Gus said the same thing as well. And then Ray backed it up, Ray McGregor for the Dragons. And then the Tigers, they've just got such strike across the park and they're energetic and exciting. So they're my 2 to keep an eye out. So you may as well just watch all of the games in between.
Absolutely should be watching all of those games, but I have to say, yeah, that Raiders-Tigers match is certainly the one I'm most looking forward to. And make sure if you are keen to hear all the news that's happening across the NRLW, that you're following and listening to NRLW Weekly with us. Now it's back to you guys.
Thank you very much for that, guys. Let's have a look at our games. Now, we've got an extra game from this week. We've got Saturday night footy as well. How much footy do you want here on 9? 5 women's games, 4 men's games.
You working Saturday night?
I'm here.
So am I.
NRLWN.
Yeah.
I'm doing both.
12:50.
And me and you calling the women's game together.
Don't know.
Will this be an invoice scenario? Thursday night, SCG Roosters Manly.
I can't believe that the Roosters are favourites in this one. The bookies have got them favourites.
But you're still tipping.
Well, he can be the difference, put it that way.
Well,
Unless they've got a plan around him, which is hard to put a plan around him because he just sort of pops up everywhere. He can be the difference. He's in that good a form at
That's
the moment.
Cherry Evans you're talking about. Well, he got a moment last week. I think the Roosters can win this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I get nervous about Schuster's defence.
Well, that's how I think they'll attack. Gaps in and around Schuster.
So who's on his side attacking?
Manu.
Wow.
Sandon Smith.
He's been good, eh?
Who's the right back rower there?
Nat Butcher.
Nat Butcher.
Siwa Wong's playing this week. He's
Yes.
starting.
Siwa.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching
How do
him.
we say that?
Siwa.
Siwa Wong.
Yeah.
Gus has got a massive
He went to
rep on him.
Scots
Good
College.
play,
didn't
went to
he?
Scots College, played union there and plays league.
Okay.
Fijian.
Yeah.
Fijian
I
descent.
think so.
Yeah.
Full house, Bluebet Stadium, Friday night. Panthers, Storm boys. And when I say full house, they'll be on the roof.
I think it's full house every week now.
Yeah.
Geez, I think they need a stadium. Have they got a grant for a big
At the
stadium?
end
They got
of
one
next
coming,
year.
yes.
Oh, that's...
And I can tell you that as someone who has some links to the western suburbs of Sydney, the Panthers fans do not like Melbourne.
Yes.
No, it's from a couple of years ago. They played in the grand final in 2000.
That was the start of their run, wasn't it, Penrith?
Yeah. And then Penrith
Big Nelson back.
Penrith improved from actually coming out of that grand final. They got tough.
Well, you got to lose one to win.
Yeah, they got pushed around, and I think they always hold Melbourne accountable for that.
Penrith to win?
Just.
Okay.
I don't think there'll be much in it.
Be interesting who they play at centre, if Tungwall plays.
They've got a history of it, except Cleary went up at Redcliffe the other week, that if they name someone on an extended bench, they generally play.
Right.
Who else was on the... Jenkins was on the bench too.
Ivan?
Ring Ivan.
Yeah, ring him live on air. He's
So
your
I
assistant
reckon,
coach now, so he answers your calls.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be nothing in this because I think Melbourne's going better than what everyone thinks. And with Papenhuyzen coming back...
Are you texting him or ring him? Can you ring him?
Can
you ring him on FaceTime?
I think...
This is gold.
I think Melbourne are a huge show in this one.
Please don't be trading.
No, they're at training.
Come on, answer, Ivan.
No good.
That's right.
Oh, well, there you go. He's just lost his contract offer to be the
Who are you
assistant
calling?
coach.
That says Misty's.
Can't say that.
Cut that one out.
Yeah.
No, keep it in.
Okay, Perth, Optus Stadium. Double header over there. And are they saying 50,000?
Are they?
Yeah. How about that?
Good.
Mate, when we played in that Origin game a couple of years ago, it was the fastest selling game of all time. The whole thing was sold out in like 15 minutes.
Wow.
They actually had to take the tickets off so they could give them to people from New South Wales to fly over and Queensland.
So people bought them and they took them off them?
Well, no, they had to stop.
Oh, right.
Because they didn't realise that they were going to sell so quick. People over there love their footy. Love it.
Yep. And it's a great ground too.
That's good.
Modern,
50,000.
modern stadium and double header over there. We're covering this one, Rabbitohs Sharks. Is there a bounce back for Cronulla? The effort was good last week. They only had 40% of the ball against 60 for the Panthers.
I think Hamlin Ueli, another week back, makes a difference to their team. Royce Hunt was there. They missed any forwards? Obviously, they missed Dalton Nukin.
There is one back.
Optus Stadium, is that under the roof?
Toby Rudolph's back.
No. They haven't got a roof because it
They've got a
rained.
roof there.
No.
They've got a piss down there, that Origin.
Yeah.
Is that when Turbo put a show on?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, for me, South win.
Raiders Tigers, Sunday footy, down in Canberra. No Stefano.
Raiders need to win. They need
to find something.
Yeah, that wasn't very good on the weekend.
There's another team. You're talking about the Cowboys hitting a speed hump. They were looking like they were going to finish in the 4 now.
Their draw's pretty good as well.
I think they'll finish 6th. I think Melbourne will finish 5th. I got the Souths coming 4th, actually.
Are you?
I'm just
have you
looking.
done your 8?
I'm looking. Yeah, I've done.
Well, you know what? I've got here Joey's words of wisdom. I'm going to say Joey's top 8. Go.
Okay, done. Saturday night in Perth, fine. 8 degrees, so it's going to be a fast track.
8 degrees in Perth.
Top 8.
Yeah, top 8. I'll do it at the end.
Right, no, do it now.
Okay.
Okay. 1, Penrith. 2, Brisbane. 3, Warriors. 4, South.
Yeah.
5, Storm. 6, Canberra. 7, Knight. And 8, Cowboy. And the Cowboys will get into the last round. Yeah, I've been doing some study.
My God.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. Very good.
So keep that, kids at home. Because on the weekend, someone was tipping the Titans and he was laughing at me on air. I said, laughing.
You do sort of use the scattergun approach a bit, and occasionally one hits its target.
It's my life. It's scattergun approach.
Now, before I go, and I was going to mention this earlier, but I'll do it now. So, and you'll have some interest in this, that the country footy heading into finals this weekend, I understand, around the state. So, if you're in a country team or you're representing a country club, why don't you shout out here at Freddy and the Eighth? Let us know how you're going. Keep us updated, and we'll mention some country finals results.
Some of the teams. Give us some of your best. Parks Spacemen.
Park Spacemen.
Maitland Pumpkin Pickers.
No, what's the who is it? Who's the other one? Oh, is it the Cherry?
Young Cherry Pickers.
Young Cherry Pickers.
Cherry Pickers.
Yeah. You got the Wagga Magpies. There's a couple of Wagga teams. Juni Diesels.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Because the trains, yeah.
Yeah.
What was your junior?
Orange. What are the orange teams?
Sims.
Orange Sims.
My
What was
favourite.
my team? I had a couple of teams, but I played for Mount Pritchard.
Ashcroft.
Mount Pritchard. What were they? I don't think. Ashcroft Stallions. That was the one I played for. Cambridge Park Colts.
Colts.
Yeah.
What about the Warilla
Who are you?
Gorillas? They're my
Cessnock
favourite.
Goannas.
Let's not go winners.
Warilla Gorillas, that's a
Yeah,
good
that's
one.
so good. All right, boys, great to be back.
Oh, is it Dapto Canaries?
Oh, that's them.
Fitzy.
Yeah, yeah,
Fitzy
yeah.
played for them.
I've actually got something. I did.
Oh.
For people at home, the tallest oak in the forest was once just a little nut that held its ground.
Hey,
And that's not jail talk.
this medicinal stuff's working wonders.
Exactly. Levin Health, get onto it. Be as clear as Uncle Joey.
See you, boys.
See ya.
Catch you over the weekend. Heaps of footy here on 9. 4 NRL games, 5 NRLW games. Make sure you tune in over the weekend. See you next week.